What if I told you that decisions made in 2 rooms this year could determine the weather your children will grow up with, the food you eat, the jobs you work, and even the price of the air conditioner cooling your home right now? Welcome to the 2 most powerful gatherings on Earth, COP30 in Brazil and the G20 Johannesburg Summit. These aren't just meetings, these are future-defining battlefields. The year is 2025. Earth is hotter, storms are stronger, and economies everywhere, from Africa to Asia, are shaking under inflation, energy shortages, and climate disasters. The world urgently needs solutions. And this year, 2 summits stepped forward. COP30, focused on climate action, and the G20 Johannesburg, focused on global economic development. Together, they form a global reset button. Chapter 1, The Climate War Room. We're in Belém, Brazil, a city in the heart of the Amazon, a place where nature speaks louder than microphones. But inside the conference walls, world leaders argued about emissions, money, energy, and survival. The first key focus was climate finance. Developing countries made their case loud and clear. We didn't create this crisis, but we are paying the price. So, COP30 pushed wealthy nations to finally increase the $100 billion climate fund and move toward a new global climate finance deal. It's about fairness and responsibility. The second big fight was the energy transition. The fossil fuel phase-out was a heated topic. Some countries demanded a swift end to oil, gas, and coal. Others argued they still need them to survive, to power their growing economies. The final result, a roadmap that pushes for aggressive renewable energy growth but still leaves the timeline for phasing out fossil fuels open for debate. It's a compromise. But is it enough? The third key focus was saving the lungs of our planet. The Amazon. Brazil delivered its boldest message yet. Protect the Amazon or lose the planet. The deal that emerged included stronger financing for forest protection, especially for the indigenous communities who are its frontline guardians, and concrete commitments to stop illegal deforestation. It's a race against time to save this vital ecosystem. Chapter 2, When the world's largest economies met. For the first time in history, Africa hosted the G20 with a theme built on 3 powerful words: solidarity, equality, development. This was the G20 Johannesburg Summit of 2025. A major outcome was the rise of global South powers. Countries like Saudi Arabia, India, South Africa, Brazil, and Indonesia demanded a bigger voice in global decisions. And this time, the world listened. This wasn't just about asking for a seat at the table. It was about building a bigger, more inclusive table. Another huge focus was combating global poverty. The summit promised new, tangible investments for digital education, making knowledge accessible to all. It focused on affordable food systems to fight hunger, new health programs to build resilience, and disaster-resilient agriculture to protect farmers from the worsening climate. These aren't just policies, they're lifelines. And what about the debt crisis? Many developing countries are drowning in debt, which cripples their ability to grow and invest in their people. The G20 responded with new debt relief frameworks, offering a path out of the financial trap. They also pushed for lower interest financing and technology-driven development plans to help nations build sustainable futures. Perhaps the most visible outcome was the flurry of new energy and infrastructure partnerships. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, India, China, and the US all announced new infrastructure corridors and green energy alliances. This is huge. It could completely reshape global trade, shipping routes, energy markets, and digital connectivity, creating new economic arteries across the globe. Chapter 3, 2 Summits, 1 Future. So, how do COP30 and G20 connect? Think of them as a double engine for our planet. COP30 is fighting climate change, trying to slow down the warming. The G20 is powering development and economic growth, trying to lift people up. Together, they are meant to create a new global direction, one with cleaner energy, fairer finance, faster economic development, and real protection for the world's most vulnerable nations. One summit sets the climate goals, the other provides the economic engine to achieve them. Chapter 4, Why this matters to you. I know what you might be thinking. You're sitting in your room, far from Brazil or South Africa. How does any of this affect your life? Well, it affects almost everything. Your electricity bills. The renewable energy policies decided at COP30 directly affect energy prices worldwide. Your job in the future. The green industries funded by G20 initiatives are creating entirely new job markets. The price of your food. Climate change, which these summits are trying to tackle, directly impacts crops and supply chains. And for many of you, your country's development is on the line. The funds and partnerships from the G20 will influence infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, building new roads, ports, and digital networks. Most importantly, your safety. Stronger climate policies mean fewer devastating floods, unbearable heat waves, and catastrophic disasters. These decisions aren't abstract. They have real-world consequences for your daily life. Chapter 5, The Final Message. Imagine a world where the air is cleaner, the jobs are smarter, the energy is renewable, and nations rise together, not alone. This is a vision that COP30 and the G20 Johannesburg Summit are fighting for. It is a future where economic progress doesn't have to come at the cost of our planet. But the question, the one that hangs over all these promises and agreements, is this: will the world act fast enough? Or will these ambitious promises become just more dust in the wind? If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to know. Because understanding the world today is the key to surviving and thriving in the world of tomorrow. Thanks for watching.